The day my friends decided to turn my loneliness into a punchline, I learned how cruel laughter could sound in broad daylight. It wasn't night, or rain, or heartbreak that broke me first. It was the sun hanging shamelessly over the city, the normal hum of life continuing as if nothing mattered, while I stood there realizing I had been set up on a date meant to embarrass me. They called it harmless fun, a joke date to get me out of my shell, but what they really wanted was a story to laugh about later. I had already spent years shrinking myself to survive disappointment, and now even my hope had become entertainment for someone else. If you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Bedtime Stories. Your support keeps stories like this alive, stories that remind us how one moment can quietly change everything. I almost didn't go. The morning light poured through my window, highlighting the cracks in the ceiling of my small apartment and the tired routine of my life. I had a decent job, predictable hours, and friends who thought they knew me better than I knew myself. What they didn't understand was how tired I was of being the easy target, the safe joke, the one who never protested. Still, I went. Maybe because a part of me wanted to prove them wrong, or maybe because I was already used to disappointment and figured one more wouldn't hurt. The cafe porch where we were supposed to meet was wrapped in green trees and open air, the kind of place where afternoons drifted lazily and nothing dramatic was supposed to happen. Then I saw her. Maribel Quince walked into my life without knowing she was stepping into a setup meant to humiliate me. She carried herself with a quiet steadiness, not flashy, not trying to impress the world, just present. The daylight softened everything around her, and for a moment, the joke didn't matter anymore. What mattered was the unexpected calm that settled in my chest, the strange feeling of being seen even before a single word was exchanged. I didn't know her story yet, but something in her eyes told me she had survived storms without letting them harden her. The truth came out faster than I expected. Awkward glances from across the cafe, phones buzzing too often, laughter poorly hidden. The realization hit me like a physical weight, and the old instinct to withdraw, to disappear, clawed its way back. I felt foolish for believing in something as simple as a genuine meeting. I felt angry at myself for expecting more from people who had already shown me who they were. But Maribel didn't laugh. She didn't look away in embarrassment. She stayed, grounded, as if the situation didn't define either of us. That afternoon stretched into something neither of us planned. Daylight shifted, shadows moved, and the world around us continued in its ordinary rhythm while something extraordinary took shape inside me. I learned that Maribel had been underestimated her whole life too, dismissed as unremarkable by people who never took the time to look closer. She understood what it felt like to be the afterthought, the convenient option, the one others assumed would always be fine. There was no grand confession, no dramatic rescue, just two people recognizing a shared quiet pain and choosing not to run from it. The days that followed were not magically easy. My friends brushed it off, insisting it was never meant to hurt me, that I was being too sensitive. I struggled with the familiar tug-of-war between loyalty and self-respect. For the first time, I didn't immediately forgive just to keep the peace. I started noticing how often I had accepted less than I deserved, how often I had laughed along to avoid conflict. Maribel didn't push me, didn't demand change. Her presence alone made me want to become braver, to stand taller in my own life. Our connection grew in the daylight hours, over simple walks, shared meals, and unspoken understanding. There was something healing about not having to perform or impress, about being enough just as I was. I began to see my own worth reflected back at me, not exaggerated or romanticized, but steady and real. The joke date faded into the background, replaced by the slow rebuilding of my confidence and the realization that kindness, when genuine, could be transformative. What hurt the most eventually taught me the most. Being the target of a cruel joke forced me to confront how little I valued myself, and meeting Maribel showed me how different life could feel when someone treated me with quiet respect. The sunlight that once felt mocking now felt warm, like a second chance I hadn't known how to ask for. I learned that sometimes the worst intentions lead us to the best turning points, not because the pain was necessary, but because we chose to grow beyond it. As this story reaches its end, if it touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like, comment, and share this video. Your engagement helps these stories reach others who might need the reminder that they are not alone. Before the final moments fade, I have a special request for you. Comment below and share what this story made you feel, or a moment when an unexpected meeting changed your life. I didn't lose my friends that day, but I did lose the version of myself that believed I deserved to be the joke. In its place grew someone stronger, someone who understood that love doesn't always arrive the way we expect, and healing doesn't always come gently. Sometimes it shows up in daylight, disguised as a cruel setup, and quietly gives us our life back.